Welcome back to another edition of Asking News. I have with me here Psymon, who is standing for Military Councillor this time. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. So, standing for Military Councillor, we won't beat about the bush. Tell us about yourself in your own words and why you're standing.
Well, I've served the bunker for my entire life. I joined the soldiery as soon as I could. My father was a soldier, my mother was a medic, and I wanted to serve my bunker. In the years, there have been questions raised about certain things that were going on within the council, and I decided that when I joined the FEF, I would confront them, talk to them. And they suggested that if I had such strong beliefs about things, that I should put myself forward. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm standing, because I want to continue to serve my bunker, and I believe that I can do that as a member of the council.
So thank you for that. So I've read through your manifesto, as I'm sure most of our listeners and listeners have. So you mentioned a lot about unity and unifying the bunker and the FEF. So you've outlined it. So what are your plans in that regard? How do you plan to put that in action?
Well, I think the most important thing is more about how people feel and how people see that. There is a lot of issues at the second where bunker civilians and bunker members who aren't members of the FEF believe that there is a growing divide between the two groups.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the main and first thing to do is to deal with those concerns, listen to the bunker, truly listen to the people of the bunker and the people of the FEF, find out their concerns and find a way to show both groups that they are united, they are together. And in finding those concerns, that will then show us what we need to do. It's why my manifesto talks a lot about general ideas rather than exactly what I'm going to do, because I think before we start saying we need to do X, Y, and Z, we need to find out what X, Y, and Z is for the betterment of everyone in the bunker, from the lowest to the highest. No matter where you stand and station within a bunker, you should feel safe and you should feel part of the community. And I think that's something that we need to find and move towards. So that would be mine. First of all, is to hear and then to act on that knowledge.
Brilliant answer. Thank you very much for that. That's good to hear. About listening to the people is very important, that we listen to everybody. So thank you for that. So moving on from inside the bunker, obviously we go up to the surface. We encounter lots and lots of different entities, both hostile and non-hostile. So what do you plan to do with that upstairs, as it were?
On the surface, obviously we operate under a much different set of governances. We are all mercenaries, for want of a better word. We are under the FEF mercenary contracts up there, which is why we get paid what we get paid, why we get sent to the situations we get sent to. And as military councillor, like every other councillor who's come before me, my view on what we should be doing up there is just to continue to expand our territory, consolidate our power, more importantly, and look to continue to protect ourselves as bunker ascendancy, but the ascendancy as a whole as well. Our allies and our friends need us just as much as the bunker needs us. And when on an operation as FEF, it would be to concentrate on our long-term goals as the FEF, and when in the bunker, it would be to concentrate on the long-term goals and the good of the bunker.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about your long-term goals then.
My long-term goals, like I said, about unity and bringing people together, my long-term goal is to pull the bunker back together, to try and heal some of the schisms that have happened, especially recently. Some very large schisms has happened recently, and we need to pull them back together. It is very well thinking a year in the future, 2 years in the future, 5 years in the future, as the other person running in this has, but we are dealing with issues now. And again, we need to figure those issues out and deal with those issues now. Long term, it is just to continue the progress of the ascendancy, the people that have come before me and the people who will come after me within both the positions of councilman and within the soldiery and membership of the bunker. We need to continue to push to the surface, continue to grow our foothold and our friendship with people, and continue to build that strength.
That's great. Thank you for that. So I have a couple of questions about yourself in general. So it has been said that you are too new to serve as a councillor. What do you say to what do you say about your inexperience and that?
I am inexperienced only in the FEF. I have been on 2 service missions since joining the FEF. I have been on both surface missions that have been put together by the FEF. However, I have served my bunker as a security officer, as I said, for over 2 decades. I'm coming up to 40 now, and I've served since I was first able to sign on the dotted line. The concept that I am too new can only really be considered if you think of the FEF as the pure thing that the council represent. They do not. They represent the entire bunker. I have been a member of the bunker for 40 years. That's not new. I've been a security officer for over 2 decades. That's not new. You can only say I'm new if the only consideration you have is for the FEF, and that would be where I would counter some of the claims made by my opponent, especially the claims he made while defacing property around the bunker recently, that I am an FNG, as he so easily put it. I'm not. I am an experienced leader of my security detail, and I have been.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's sometimes the recording goes a little bit funny in the bunker. It's just one of those things. We're all used to these power shortages by now, but I think we got the gist of what you were saying there, so that's fine.
Excellent.
I know you mentioned the other person standing for military councillor, so I would like to ask same question that I put to him. You and Sick Note, you're both FEF members and you're both soldiers and you're both standing. So tell me what the difference between you both is.
I was asked this by a friend of mine, and the difference between this is I don't see the FEF members and bunker citizens as 2 groups. We are one people. I joined the FEF to give my spare time to further the bunker. That's what makes me different. I see us as one unified entity, not as 2 separate groups within the same organization. To summarize it the quickest I can.
Yeah, it was a very, very quick summary. Thank you for that. So just a couple more questions. One from was sent in to me recently, and that is that there's a number of rumours that you are a member of a secret group within the bunker. If that's true, how do you remain impartial and not let that affect what you're doing for the bunker?
A secret group within the bunker. I am a member of a group within the bunker, a group of people who believe in maintaining knowledge. That's it. We have no crazy underhanded plots. We just want to maintain some knowledge about certain technologies. You know, I have a wife who is an engineer, and that desire kind of stemmed from my relationship with her. I would say that people, all kinds of people are parts of all kinds of organizations. There are people that play games together on a Friday night. There are people that drink together in a pub. I just tend to get together and talk about computers with a group of people who like computers as well.
Okay, thank you very much. And another question is, again, relating to the surface. So what do you plan on doing about the remaining threat from the hive?
Oh, they need to be dealt with as soon as humanly possible. I have been working with some members of the bureaucrats and some members of the engineers to better combat them, to attempt to try and better combat them. In my last surface mission, we unfortunately came across a research station that was researching into them. We were able to get some data that has been passed on to the relative authorities within the bunker, and they are looking to deal with that. But as military councillor, it would be to continue to train, equip, and prepare our forces so that we can, once we have the information, the data, and the reconnaissance to move and put an end to them, we can decisively and with as little risk to bunker personnel and as possible deal with them and end their threat against us.
Absolutely. The sooner they're dealt with, the better. From a military person's point of view, the less of them I see upstairs, the better.
Of course, but we also have to take into consideration when looking at dealing with such a robust, changing and deadly enemy that we do not just throw lives away. We need to know that we can deal with them. My father used to say that there were two types of people who led soldiers. There were murdering officers and there were killing officers, and killing officers will get you killed by accident or in a needed situation, where murdering officers will merely throw hundreds of lives away at a wall just to say that they were there. And I think that we need to limit the damage any offensive will take. And I think that means sometimes taking a little extra time to really and truly understand who we are fighting or what we are fighting, and know that we can deal with them, as there is no point throwing such limited resources such as our soldiery or any member of our ascendancy as a whole away in needless conflict that will just end in death and bloodshed that isn't needed.
I'm very attached to my skin, so hearing you say that puts a bit of comfort into my mind. So that's lovely. Thank you for that. So what I will say, this is now your time to add anything you'd like to say or to the interview. Just tell people whatever.
I think that there are a few things that I need to address. As you mentioned already, there's the belief that I am too new at this to do it. There was also some comments made by my opponent that my manifesto only contained things about the bunker, not about the outside world, and that meant that I somehow wanted to close us back into the bunker. I just wanted to point out that I don't want to close us off. My manifesto talks about the bunker primarily because this is an election within the bunker. Fortitude is currently undergoing its own elections. Our allies within the tribals have their own way of dealing with leadership and stuff like that. So I felt it important to talk about bunker issues that were important to the people that were involved in the process that's going on. The second thing that I wanted to mention was just I have spoken to several members of bunker personnel, along with several members of the FEF, and it saddens me to hear that their beliefs that my opponent they feel that he is another dictator in the making, and that truly worries me that they could have that view over anyone, because that just shows where the rifts are within our society. And I just want to reassure people that the FEF does work for the good of the bunker, and the bunker is safe. We are one people, we are together. And just because my opponent feels that committing criminal acts of defacing things and showing the lack of respect for the process that we're currently undergoing is not what everyone within the FEF, and especially myself, feels about this process. I have the utmost respect for this process. Like I say, I am here because I wish to continue to serve my bunker. I'm standing because I wish to continue serving my bunker. And I think we all need to hold our leaders, whoever they may be after this process, to the highest level of our ideals, because we are all representatives of the ascendancy, and we must carry those ideals wherever we go, whether it is within the bunker to our job, or whether it is the FEF on the surface meeting new people. And again, my opponent mentioned that in my manifesto I only mention the FEF meeting new friends and allies, not new enemies. Of course we will meet new enemies, but we will deal with them under the articles of war as we have written in our laws, and we will have to deal with them as we have to deal with enemies. My concern is how we deal with new potential friends and allies if we are, as some of the bunker believe within the FEF, some renegade off the wall group. We are going to make more enemies out of potential friends, and that is why I personally believe the FEF should be shining examples of everything that it is to be a member of bunker ascendancy. It's why I believe that they should follow the laws of bunker ascendancy, even when on the surface we have articles of war, we have articles of conflict, and they protect us when we are at war or in open conflict with people as soldiers. But we also have a responsibility to carry our law with us where we go, because we meet new people, such as when we met Fortitude and we have helped them embrace democracy. Had we not carried our ideals from the bunker when we first met them, we could never have done that, because we would never have carried those ideals outside of the bunker. I think that's about all I have to say about the situation that's going on at the second. I do hopefully, I'm working with Ace at the second to hopefully set up a few town meeting style meetings, so I can hear again from people of the bunker what they need, what they want, where they feel threatened or unsafe. Because more importantly, even if I do not become a councillor at the end of this process, I'm still a security officer, and I still need to know how to make the people of this bunker feel safe and sound in their beds. And yeah, that's all I want, is safety and unity for my bunker and my people, so that when my child grows up, she can make her choices and become the best that she can be in a better world than I had when I was growing up. Because me and all of my friends within the bunker and within the FEF have worked tirelessly to make it a place worth her being.
Excellent. Well, thank you ever so much for your thoughts and your comments today, and we shall find out what happens in a week or so. Thank you ever so much for coming to the interview, and I will see you around in the bunker, I'm sure. Thank you.
I'm sure. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.